Think we are live on Facebook. Meeting is now streaming. Yes, we
Wow.
have made it. We are here. Hi, welcome to Shop New York Online's Lockdown Life Live series. We are on week 2. I'm Emma from Shop New York Online, for any of you that are unsure. And I'm chatting tonight with James from Wizard Toys. He is a co-owner of Wizard Toys based on Kirkgate in Newark. So thanks for joining us, James. It's lovely to see you. How are you?
Hi, Emma. Yeah, I'm great. Good to see you too.
Good.
Really well.
You had a busy day?
Yeah, absolutely. Been making pancakes.
Making pancakes today, yeah. Not
Yeah,
toy
I've had
pancakes.
double pancakes. I've had double pancakes today.
Yeah, we've had double ones too. We had to have American pancakes and normal pancakes because I had one child that wanted each. So I thought I'd be super mum and make 2 batches of pancakes, which was great. And then they had 2 each and then said, oh, I'm full, I can't eat anymore. So now I've got a kitchen full of pancakes. Yes, if I can have pancakes for tea.
Well, that's supper. That's supper sort of.
Yeah, yeah, it could be worse, I suppose. Pancakes and wine will be all right. So, just a little bit about you, really. Just tell us all a little bit about your business, how long you've been trading, a little bit about yourself. Give us the lowdown.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So in Newark, we're known as Wizard Toys on Kirkgate, but we're also, you probably know us as Toy Master for a few years before that. We've actually been there for 8 years, and I've been running toy shops for 12 years. Would you believe? You wouldn't believe I'm only 31, would you? No. So I sort of started off in retail. I've been in retail since a Saturday lad behind the counter in a camera shop. A few years ago, and yeah, just retail has always been in my blood. A lot of people say, well, how did you get into toy shops? And it really was just that opportunity of redundancy and looking at the local town and just seeing, well, what are we missing? What might work? And
is it something you'd always dreamt of? Because every kid dreams of owning a toy shop. Surely, is it something that had always been with you?
Yeah, I'd like to say so. Yeah, I mean, no, it really was more just a head decision rather than a heart decision of thinking, well, I want to, retail's in my blood. Let me see what I can sell. But when you do that, there's no point in replicating what's already there. So it really was just a case of, hang on a second, lots of research just around, you've got to think 10 years ago, the high streets were just starting to change, and it was a case of picking something that, toys are so tactile, and it's yes, there's online, but when it comes to toys, you want to pick them up, you want to be able to gauge the quality, and don't forget that toy shop experience as well. So
yeah, definitely,
that's so important. So yeah, we did that, and then after a couple of years on my own, one of my oldest friends, David, he joined me because he did the same sort of thing, took a redundancy position, and said, oh, we'd always talked about it in the pub, could we start a business, or could we do something together? And here we are 12 years later, running the toy shops, and
toy shops.
Well, we'll be.
Yeah, we'll be again.
We currently got one in Newark and one in Melton Mowbray.
Yeah, fantastic. So great business that you've been running for lots of years now, really well known in Newark as Toy Master, and like you say, more recently as Wizard Toys. In fact, I don't think it was many months of Wizard Toys before the pandemic hit, was it? Am I right in thinking it was back end of last year you changed?
Yeah, exactly. So Toy Master is a buying group. It's known as a mutuality. So it's owned by its members. So it's done for the benefit of somebody that wants to get into retail and selling toys. It's really hard to start out completely on your own. And it gave us a leg up, great brand and lots of access to various different things. But eventually I think when probably even in Europe, you walk past and think, oh, maybe Toy Master, is that a national chain? Is that Toys R Us? Is it, what is that? No, it's actually me and Dave. It is me and Dave, but we're using the branding. And we sort of got our confidence together and just sort of, no, actually, we've been here long enough. We've got loyal customers, great relationships with suppliers. Let's kick out completely alone and drive a brand forward. So 15th of June, post lockdown, loads of support, and that was going really well until November.
Yeah. Yeah. So just going back a little bit before then, how it's back to last March, I think it was. How did you feel about your business when the news came that we were going into a global or national pandemic and that retail was going to be a vulnerable sector? What were your initial thoughts?
Yeah, well, you you can't forget that we've become used to adapting. I mean, I've been retailing for a long time and seen all the changes with online and the change in consumer habits. So we're used to things going on. And in the early days, even Christmas 2019 and into January 20, it was obvious something was happening. And of course, then things started getting spoken about. We all heard the rumours, and a lot of product comes from China. So things were rumours were surfacing, things were starting to change. And we saw a drop off in confidence really, really early on.
Yeah.
So we did try to do as much as we can. And of course, having just had a Christmas, January, February, and March can be quite quiet for toy shops anyway. So we were kind of used to doing what we needed to do in those times. But of course, nobody really expected it just to be a complete closure. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think however well prepared you are for anything, to suddenly have the shutters come down like that on any retail business or any business at all is just it's personally quite shocking, because one of the things that happens now is that we're in the stores, we can do click and collect, we do shop New York online, but of course the environment, you're walking through the toy shop every day and there's no magic, there's no customers, there's no kids, there's no fun, there's no pocket money, there's no fidget spinners, that and you sort of think, gosh, that's the thing that we really miss and really want to get back to.
Hopefully soon. So how did you communicate with your staff what you were going to do? Because you've got a great team in Newark. I know we do the grotto together, don't we? So I know them quite well. I've gone with Dawn especially for the last few years. How did you kind of communicate to them what you were going to have to do?
Well, I think, like, if you ask any business owner how it goes with the staff in the pandemic, they get the same information that we do. So they're watching Morris at the same time as we are. So it's not about it's not about what they're told. It's more about how we react alongside them. And we just had a completely open line of communication, literally a WhatsApp group for all of us together as the news is coming out. And fortunately, we're a small team and we're pretty close. So it really was a case of just stick with us, guys. We'll do what we need to do. And you know what, we needn't have worried at all, because everybody that works for us just redoubled their efforts in terms of offering to do whatever they needed to do. I think like most business owners, initially in that March period, it was a case of, okay, shut down, let's shut down completely. Obviously this was pre-furlough, nobody knew what was going to go on, let's do it. And it went back to myself and Dave. We traded. Of course, the great thing about retail is that you can switch online. It's not as simple as that, because when you set up as a retailer to be retailing in store with a customer experience and a product mix, we've got 2,000 products in the shop, but we've probably got ones and twos of each product. Whereas if you're promoting something online, you could really do with 150 products and 1,000 of each. So by the time you've uploaded the picture to the website or whatever, you've sold them all.
You sold them all.
So me and Dave, we're literally doing it out of Dave's garage. So the stores were shut. We had opportunities with just if you think back to it was the start of homeschool, so toys weren't a big thing, but things that we sold, like Orchard Toys, were educational games. All of a sudden, board games all went through the roof, and then gradually jigsaw puzzles started to come along. But of course, all of that stock sold out with suppliers really, really quickly. So it was a strange time. And of course, I kid you not, when you set up to sell on the high streets and as a retailer like that, to do online is twice the work for half the profit.
Yeah.
It really, you know, there's a lot more goes on to selling online than just a click of a button, you know, as I'm sure lots of people understand and realize. But
yeah, and like we've spoken before with the online, it's not what you're all about, is it? Your independent retail is all about that face-to-face customer service, and you don't tend to get that on the Amazons and the big online selling platforms as much as you do in your shop with Shop New York Online.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head there, which is that, yeah, you know, I've been selling toys for 10, 12 years. Absolutely, I could do it out of my garage and just be a soulless you know, name on a website. But of course, what you come across really, really quickly if you're selling Monopoly is that, you know, there's 36 people selling Monopoly. Well, how are you differentiating between 36? If you walk down the high street, you can go to the store that you like, or that you know, or that you trust, or that you feel good about. You know, that doesn't happen online, and so whilst it will always be a part of our business because we need it, and, you know, thank goodness we've got the physical setup and the IT and everything in order to do that online. Thank goodness, because if we hadn't, we really wouldn't have survived at all.
Yeah, scary times. Yeah. So then you went through all of that. Then you got to reopen for a short amount of time, and then Christmas came. How did Wizard Toys trade through Christmas? Because that is the busiest time for a toy shop. Did you have stock issues? How did you get through it?
Well, as I said earlier on, June came, we reopened, rebranded as Wizard Toys, got a load of support. The suppliers were quite fired up. There was a lot of new product, which was good. People missed the toy shop experience. They came back, they wanted to come see what we changed, and that was all going well. So of course we then stocked up, ready for Christmas, as we normally do in September, October. And of course we're in a tiered system, so we knew that things could change, and we could go to tier 4, what have you. So we were cautious, quite rightly, and we knew that it was going to be an online Christmas predominantly, which it was. But of course we weren't expecting November. And quite honestly, the November shutdown was harder than March to June. You know, it really was, because we'd got the stock set up ready to go, all in the store. It was stock that you would buy to sell in person, and not mail order, and not online as such. Dress the stores, Christmas decorations, all the rest of it. Now I know everybody's in the same boat, but yeah, when you're a toy shop, the profit that you make in that last quarter is money to see you through.
Absolutely, yeah.
The rest of the year, you know, the curve on our year is so, the peak at Christmas is so ridiculous, and quite frankly, I'm in two minds about it, because yes, of course, we needed to close down. And we absolutely were in solidarity with the pandemic and the efforts. Our problem was, and the reason why we were quite vocal at the time, I continue to be vocal, is the retailers that are allowed to trade. You can go to a number of retailers today in November that are classed as essential, but they're selling non-essential goods. And it comes down to an interpretation of the regulations. The regulations state that if it's physically and practically possible to seal off those non-essential areas, then you should, in solidarity with the pandemic and with your fellow independents. The reality is, you can go to B&M, for example. There are others, and there is a toy aisle. Now, you know, what's to stop that perfect toy aisle being cordoned off at either end? Very easy, very simple, but they're not.
But it didn't.
So they didn't. And so, of course, you know, what do families do about Christmas is they get to November and they start to think, what we're getting for Christmas, what we're going to do, let's sort Christmas out, let's budget for it, we've got the paydays to think about. So a lot of those big Christmas decisions were made in November, and so we lost the trade. So also in November, we panicked. We had to have an income, so we took a lot of that stock that we'd got in the shops and we sold it online. Because we sold it, had to sell it for a lower profit. So yeah, we're great. We're open in December, COVID safe, as we feel we would have been in November as well.
Yeah.
So, but you know, the magic came back. It was a good Christmas. It was, you know, in comparison to, let's say, 2018, which gives you, you know, 2018 or 19 to give you a benchmark, it's probably 30% down. So massively significant down.
Yeah.
Because of the pandemic, but you know, it still came, and online really helped us with that. So yeah, it was a
different Christmas.
it was, and you know, it's you know, when it's your own business, and you know, it's the guys that are involved, you get a bit emotional, a bit passionate about it, you know.
Yeah, and especially when you don't know what's around the corner, do you? Because it's not like you could have even said, oh, do you know what, this is where we are now, but it will be okay, because we just didn't know how long it would, still don't really know, do we, how long it will be before it's okay again. But I think all credit to you retailers, you guys that are trading through it, doing what you can, adapting and changing constantly really to this challenging situation that, as you said a bit ago, never ever in a million years would anybody have sat here 18 months ago now and said, do you know what, 2020 is going to be shut down because of a global pandemic. It just wouldn't have crossed anybody's mind. So the way that you've all changed to that is absolutely amazing. Absolute credit to you all. It's fantastic, and I think you're doing really well.
It's nice to be small sometimes, because you know, whilst you have your gripes and there are issues, but you know, you've got the ability to quickly turn something on, quickly turn something off. You know, we had some great success in the last 2 weeks. We sold all the sledges that I think I might have had for about 3 years, but you know, that great. You know, we were able just to turn those around, click and collect, do them through Shop New York online, and you know, be able to react and do things like that. And of course now we're just totally focused on reopening, and you know, again, last time we had the rebrand, and really this time it's reopening is going to be more about the product, more about range, because the suppliers haven't been quiet. Whilst there haven't been any big toy exhibitions and shows that we'd normally look at in January, there's lots of great new product coming through. Everything, Lego, Playmobil, Orchard Toys, you know, Pokemon is huge in the minute. So what I'm excited about is getting the new in the store, getting people in the store, be it the kids, be it the collectors, the big kids, you know, absolutely, and getting them to show them something new, because whilst ever, you know, click, yeah, it is absolutely fine, but that's not, you know, what it's about for me is inspiration. You know, how do you know that you want to build that model plane if you don't see it, you know, looking down at you from the box on the shelf? It's that's
my next question really, was what is your retail mix going forwards? But absolutely predominantly the store with a mixture of an online to back it up. Is that correct? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it's threefold really. I mean, you've got the store, which will always be our heart, our main focus, because you know, you've got that narrower market of Newark. I mean, we really do sell what we're asked for in Newark, and we respond to that. And there are some really exciting things coming along specifically for the Newark store. The general online, like you say, selling a Scrabble, Monopoly or a jigsaw puzzle will always be there. And then I think with Shop New York Online, we've got this perfect sort of bridge now, haven't we? Because, you know, we can be bespoke to Newark, but also it's online. So, you know, I just love the fact that you can go on and choose, you know, a box of chocolates, a bunch of flowers and a Lego, and
all together.
You deliver it.
Yeah, there it is. Thank you.
Really
so
excited. Really excited.
It is really, we've got lots of big plans as well, which I've told you a little bit about. I am drip feeding people, so we've got lots of plans coming up over the next few months for Shop New York Online. It's very exciting. So if you looked back over the last 12 months, would there be anything that you, God forbid we have to do it again, but if we did have to do this situation again, is there anything that you would do differently?
Yeah, I'd hide out on a desert island
Oh, yeah.
somewhere.
Pretend
All
it's
right,
not
I can do
happening.
that. It's a different radio show. Yeah. I, I don't know. I think we would probably just not panic quite as much. Not that we panicked, but you know, everybody does. You've got to do something. You've got to, you know, if because you don't know. It's just the unknown, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
watch the shop. We better do this. We better do that. We better do the other. Whereas actually, the reality is that we have had some great support from our regulars in Newark. You know, we have been closed, but we've not lost all our customers. It's incredible. You know, the amount of messages we get on Facebook, the calls we get when we're in the store packing parcels, the knocks on the window and the support. It is still there, and it all came back. So yeah, that and the desert island, definitely.
And the desert island's in the plan. So what's your tip to anybody else, or what would you say to anybody else about how you manage to stay positive and focused throughout?
Yeah, I think it's about structure. And it's probably the most obvious tip, really. But even though the shop's closed, most days I get in the car, drive to the shop, put the key in the door, put the kettle on, open the post, do the normal things that you would do in your business in that building, you know, and, you know, we still hoover up. Nobody walks on the carpet, but we still hoover up. You know, we clean the windows and all of that stuff. And I think doing that and keep going into the store keeps you in touch with it. I mean, yeah, absolutely. There are some days where, you know, be kind to yourself. Gosh, you know, some of the things that are happening in the background is all the people that are running the businesses. So when it comes to dealing with your costs, you know, talking to your landlords, dealing with HMRC, dealing with, you know, trying to keep everything going, that's really hard. That's really hard when you've got no income, or your income is dramatically reduced, or that income that's reduced is then dramatically less profitable because you're doing it online. You know, that's the tough stuff. But actually, just by doing that, and also, you know, talk to people. I mean, I'm really lucky because me and Dave can talk to each other. We can keep each other going, you know, even if it's a late night conversation of, oh, I don't think this is going to work. No, it will.
Yeah, you bounce off each other, don't you?
Yeah. You've got to do that. So yeah, keep a structure. Keep, you know, it's the making your bed in the morning principle, isn't it? You know, keep getting up, doing it, and you know, good things will happen.
Yeah, and they are. Well done, you. Let's hope it won't be too long before you can open those doors again. Please, Boris, please let us open these doors again. We just can't wait. Sell some toys. I know my kids can't wait to come back in. Buzz Lightyear, yeah.
Yeah,
your mate.
My own way.
That was lovely. Thanks, James, for telling us all about Wizard Toys. It was really, really interesting, and I hope you all enjoyed that. I will be back same time next week, next Tuesday at 7 o'clock, speaking to another one of my lovely member retailers, telling you all about how they have traded through the pandemic. Have a great week, and I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye.